Good morning. Good morning and welcome to the Shawnee Mission Unitarian Universalist Church. Whoever you are, whomever you love, wherever you are on your life's journey, you are welcome here. We are so happy that you've chosen this space, this Sabbath, this sanctuary and time. We know that you have so many options on Sunday morning, and that you chose to be here is something that we celebrate. We extend an especially warm welcome to our visitors, and now we invite everyone to greet each other by bumping elbows. Thank you. It is good to be together. Each Sunday, just before the offering, you hear these words: "The work of the church depends on us. Our generosity of time, wisdom, and financial resources." You'll hear them again today at offering time, but I'm bringing them up now to ask you to be generous with your time and volunteer to serve your church. We are currently seeking volunteers to serve on the Sunday morning hospitality team, greeting people who come to the service, welcoming new visitors, preparing the sanctuary for the service, and one day, hopefully in the not-too-distant future, making coffee. If you are fairly new to the church and want to serve in some way, this is a perfect way for you to dip your toe into the volunteer water. For more information and to sign up to serve, look for this flyer right here, in a special rack on the welcome table. You can also see me or Ann McCleary, if she's here. She's greeting. There, we need volunteers. So your small investment in time and effort and energy will yield great results for all of us. Thank you. And now Reverend Rose has a few more announcements.
Good morning. Good morning. I have 3 announcements today. Firstly, I wanted to say a special hello to everyone who is watching from home. We're so glad that you've come to church today as well, and we appreciate you being here, even though we can't see your faces. I do feel that you are with us, and I just want to say a special hello from us to you. Some of you we do know, and some of you we know to think of, and we know where you are and what you're going through, but some of you we don't know, and so we just invite you to make yourselves known. You can fill out the Get in Touch form below, or come to church one day, or call the church just to let us know who you are, because we appreciate you being here. Secondly, I have an announcement that our accompanist, Lori Levins, has chosen to leave her posting. She has been such a consistent and meaningful part of our worship experience, and we wish her all the best. So if you know her personally, please don't hesitate to reach out and celebrate all the wonderful music that she has graced us with. And now lastly, we are here amongst the holidays, and so the time of generosity and open-heartedness is upon us. But sometimes it is harder to receive than it is to give. So this holiday season, if you are someone who could use a little extra boost in buying your Christmas gifts, especially for your children, we have something called the Ministerial Discretionary Fund, whose purpose is to support people in our midst who are struggling to make ends meet. Many, many people in the church have called upon this fund during times of need, and I'll speak for the congregation when I say that we feel extremely grateful to be in a position to make people's holidays and lives in general easier and more smooth. Please speak to me personally. It is entirely confidential. Tell your friends, or you can find my information on the internet. Our opening words today come from the poet Maya Angelou. Here, on the pulse of this new day, you may have the grace to look up and out and into your sister's eyes and into your brother's face, your country, and say simply, very simply, with hope, good morning. Come, let us worship. Please rise as you are willing and able for our opening hymn, number 38, Morning Has Broken.
I'd like to invite Kira Sexton to come forward to light the chalice this morning. Let us affirm that love is the doctrine of this church, the quest for truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge in freedom, to serve humanity in fellowship, to the end that all souls shall grow into harmony with the divine. Thus do we covenant with one another. Each month, we as a community take time to reflect on a theme. The children do this in their classes, and we do it here in worship and in our small groups. This month, the theme is holding history. Earlier this month, I shared a reflection on holding history and how my grandfather's legendary macaroni and cheese recipe affected my life. Today, after further reflection on holding history, I'd like to give my grandmother equal time. I had a great relationship with my grandmother. Of the 5 children in my family, I was her favorite. I know this because she told me. Hey, it was the 60s. Family dynamics were much different then. Anyway, I was okay with it. And I remember a lot. My grandmother, who I adored, was from Brazil, Indiana. And I remember a time back in 1968, 3 years before she would pass away, when she and I, just the 2 of us, went on a road trip to visit her sisters. Catherine Virginia DeCamp Curtis was the second youngest of 12 children in her family. And in 1968, there I was, 14-year-old me, sitting in the passenger seat, unseatbelted, going down I-75 toward Indianapolis in a 1965 Dodge Coronet. Sage green with no air conditioning or radio, which were luxuries. Although one time, quite often, my grandmother, a rabid Detroit Tigers fan, would sometimes place a transistor radio on the dashboard so she could enjoy the play-by-play of the Tigers game. There we were in the summer of 1968, barreling south on I-75 at 80 miles an hour, the wind coming through the car's air vents, billowing up her navy blue dotted Swiss dress, and her foot in a sensible, solid-heeled navy blue open-toed pump pushing hard on the accelerator. "Jimmy," she said, "you're going to college. You are going to help people." I said nothing, watching the monarchs and flies and other bugs giving up their lives on the windshield of our car. And we visited her sisters on that trip, Aunt Laura, who lived in a sprawling ranch home in Coatesville, Aunt Forrest, who lived in a tiny cottage in the middle of Indianapolis that could only be reached by crossing a hanging bridge, and Aunt Margaret, who still lived in Brazil and who had lost her right arm in a canning accident during World War II. We visited them all who were left anyway, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. And when we were driving back to Detroit, she said again, "Jimmy, you are going to college. You're going to help people." And 3 years later, after she was gone, and I graduated from high school, I was pretty devastated. "You're going to help people." I kept hearing her say, "What does that mean?" I thought, I guess I should become a doctor or a lawyer maybe, but I had absolutely no interest in medicine or law. It was a struggle, and I eventually ended up majoring in horticulture in college. And even though I enjoyed it, I always felt that there was something missing, that I had somehow missed the mark. But then, years later, I heard something that totally changed my world. It was a quote attributed to Mother Teresa, and it said, "In this life, we cannot do great things. We can only do small things with great love." Boom! Suddenly I understood that I didn't have to be a Nobel Prize-winning scientist. I simply had to do small, good things for other people. And that's it. Case closed. So I do small, good things for people, and I realize that Other people are doing small good things for me. And in this world filled with such contention, it's nice to remember that there is a lot of good going on, that there is a lot of love in the world. Thank you.
Our moment of wonder today is a poem by Naomi Shihab Nye called Red Brocade. The Arabs used to say, when a stranger appears at your door, feed him for 3 days before asking who he is, where he's come from, where he's headed. That way, he'll have strength enough to answer. Or by then, you'll be such good friends you don't care. Let's go back to that. Rice? Peanuts? Here, take the red brocade pillow. My child will serve water to your horse. No, I was not busy when you came. I was not preparing to be busy. That's the armor everyone puts on to pretend they had a purpose in the world. But I refuse to be claimed. Your plate is waiting. We will snip fresh mint into your tea. This is the time in our order of service where we draw to heart and mind those in our midst who are suffering and those who feel the sweet relief of their burdens easing. So I invite you to put your feet flat on the floor. Take a deep breath. This is the time where we can come into our bodies, pay more attention to our breathing. Today we think of those who are wishing for the comfort and joy of community. We think of those who feel that they are on the outside, those who feel invisible or othered from the beloved community. We think of those who feel that love and hope are impossible for them, and we search for ways to widen our own circle as individuals and as a church. We give our love to those untangling themselves from relationships that no longer serve them, We grieve for the loss of energy and time that chronic illness takes upon the body and mind. And our hearts go out to all who are struggling to make ends meet, especially at this time of year. We extend our gratitude to people who make caring for children their primary spiritual practice, and we join in wonder with all people who are bravely facing their final days. I'll invite you to draw to mind someone in your own life who you know is struggling. Just take a second to send them a well wish, a thought, a prayer, envisioning their face. As always, we rejoice over the exquisite beauty in this world, as small or life-changing as each piece of beauty might be. And now I invite you to come forward and briefly share in 2 to 3 sentences a rare joy or a profound sorrow and light a candle.
Lighting a quick candle for Richard Warren Pease. Yesterday is his 80th birthday.
I'm Kira, and I'm lighting this candle for my nephew. He became engaged last night, so I wish them the best.
I light the remaining candles for all the joys and all the sorrows that remain unspoken in the silent sanctuaries of our hearts. And now please join me for a moment of meditation followed by spoken word. We'll just have a moment of silence. I'll invite you to put your feet flat on the floor, close your eyes, breathe in through your nose, out through your mouth. Oftentimes when we close our eyes, we can experience a shifting in our attention to our body and in our attention to our souls and our hearts. Just using this time to breathe in love, breathe out peace. Spirit of life, come unto me. And now, keeping our eyes closed, we're going to do our embodiment exercise. Today, I'd like you to just notice where in your body you feel the words I speak. I am powerful. Noticing where do you feel that in your body? I am heart sick. I am grounded. I am tired. I am beautiful. I am mad. I am loved. I am safe. We'll take a moment to listen to that voice still and small within us, that most loving voice you have. And I invite you to write a sentence of your own. I am blank. I invite you to take one more deep breath. Let the corners of your lips turn up. You may open your eyes and please remain seated for our meditative hymn, Voice Still and Small.
Our reading today comes from Sufi poet Rumi. It's called The Guest House. This being human is a guest house, every morning a new arrival. A joy, a depression, a meanness, some momentary awareness comes as an unexpected visitor. Welcome and entertain them all. Even if they're a crowd of sorrows who violently sweep your house empty of its furniture, still treat each guest honorably. He may be clearing you out for some new delight. The dark thought, the shame, the malice, meet them at the door laughing and invite them in. Be grateful for whoever comes because each has been sent as a guide from beyond.
Once upon a time, there was a big problem right at the base of a hill. There was a very long train, you see, that was full of all sorts of heavy things, rocks, sand, but also precious things like animals, food, books, the mail. And this train was in trouble because it had to be drawn up in unusually steep grade and was very heavy. In fact, this train was so long and so heavy that the train engineer didn't know what to do. So he went up to what looked like a big, strong engine and asked if it could pull the train over the hill. But that engine took one look at the cars and said, "It's too heavy of a train." So the conductor sighed and went to another, this time tried and true, engine and asked if it could pull the train over the hill. And this engine said, "It's too steep of a grade." So all the train engineers banded together and searched far and wide for any engine that would pull the train up and over the mountain, but to no avail. Until they remembered the little blue engine that was brand new, that they had glossed over because it had never even pulled a train once. So the conductor went over to her and asked sheepishly, "Can you pull the train over the hill?" And what did she say? "I think I can. I think I can. I think I can." The whole time she was getting hooked up to the cars, she was saying to herself, "I think I can. I think I can. I think I can." As she pulled out on the still flat surface, she just kept saying, "I think I can. I think I can." And as she reached the grade and started to chug, chug, chug upwards, pulling this long, heavy train, her voice could be heard saying, "I think I can. I think I can." And as she went up steeper and steeper, her voice got tired, but they could hear her saying, "I think I can. I think I can. I think." And as she reached the top, she said, "I can." And then they crested the hill and they headed down, and her voice could be heard yelling happily, "I think I can. I think I can. I thought I could. I thought I could." And as the train rushed down towards the valley, the little train sang her own praises of joy and was met by many very happy people. Now, I tell you this story for 4 reasons. The first is that it's obvious that I miss having kids in the service. Secondly, because this story was actually first told as a sermon in 1902. Secondly, because I want to point out that it was the voice still and small within our shiny little blue locomotive, her own mantra, her own belief, and her own words that she used to fuel her forward. But the real reason that I want to tell you this story is because I wonder if you would entertain with me the idea that our words are spells. What if we thought of our words as that powerful? What if when we spoke, we imagined our words to be the very threads that weave the tapestry of events unfolding? That we write our own story word for word. The very sentiments that we let loose on this world, marking the border between what is possible and what is impossible. For we all know how powerful a single word is. We've all had a word cut us. We all know how gossip can spoil the pot. But we also know how much the kind words of one person can change your mood, your day, or even your life. Jim spoke about one quote today. Boom. Just a single line of words that changed how he saw himself. Indeed, we can see on reality TV show after reality TV show the talented individuals who get stuck in their own heads and fall prey to their inner saboteurs. But we also see how powerful mantras are, how much it matters to have the people closest to you say that they love you, how much even someone commenting a single word on a Facebook post ties you to them. So I'd just like to take a moment and tell you that you are smart and you are valuable and you are beautiful. You're an artist. You are capable. You are powerful. You are loved. What if the very words we use every single day, the words we think, the words we say to ourselves and to each others, are actually very, very powerful? What if the way that we talk to and about each other in our beloved community is actually what defines what is possible and what is impossible for a church? What if, when we talk about widening our circle, what we actually mean is pushing back against what we've heard is impossible? What if being people of faith simply means changing the words we use? Trying on the idea that our words are an invocation in every single moment. What if being a person of faith and being a person of gratitude is just about how we talk about what is possible? And because, after all, we are a very faithful people, we are going to practice, again, right now, using our words as if they were very powerful. So now I'd like you to take that sentence that you wrote earlier, I am blank. Get that word back in your mind, your empowered word. Listen to that voice still and small for a moment. That voice that comes from that fire in the belly. Now, I wonder what would happen if you said these words aloud. I wonder what it would feel like for you to proclaim that you are this thing that only your teeny tiny voice whispers about. I wonder what would it feel like to say it aloud. Let's do it together. Ready? I am lovable. Okay, now with gusto. Ready? I am lovable. Okay, one more time. I am lovable. How did it feel? Let us invoke a future for ourselves that is one of great hope and bravery, one of possibility, ways out of no way forged with our very poems. Let our words be these spells. Let us all have a crowd of people shouting at us and with us that we are beautiful and lovable and smart and capable and even headed in the right direction. Indeed, we could always be that supportive. Even though our world can become so scarce, let us not become a part of it. Let us use our words to make more connection possible, more truth-telling possible, more hope, more joy, more justice, more love. Let us use our own engines for positivity and forward movement, chugging right along, giving each other hope and love, welcoming the stranger, remembering that oftentimes it is that voice, still and small, that is, in the end, the most powerful of all. In closing, I'll remind you that the still small voice of Unitarian Universalism has had a profound impact on the world. We hold a special place, an ethical place, an integritous place in the landscape of religion and in our society. Because ours is an uncommon faith where we don't all use the same word for the divine. We don't all use the same words for our spiritual lives. We don't give our children the word God, and instead do expect them to be an active writer on their free and responsible search for truth and meaning. And if our words are spells, then we ourselves get to be part of writing the story of holiness as we discern, play, discuss, and name. And we do this because no matter what our individual beliefs are, what we do all believe is that the divine moves in us. That humans have the ability to bring goodness and holiness into this world, to really, if we want, do the impossible, which we have done repeatedly over and over and over. That in some mysterious and holy way, we are the drivers and the agents of what is holy in the world, insofar that we are able to treat each other with love and kindness. Thus, let us believe in each other more, honor each other more, use kinder words towards each other and ourselves. Let us go forth with the willingness to proclaim with our words that all is possible for us. Longevity, sustainability, connection, love, safety. Let us use our words to write a future that is kinder and more open. I think we can. Blessed be, and amen.
The work of the church depends on us. I told you you'd hear that again. Our generosity of time, wisdom, and financial resources. We invite you to give generously to support the ongoing work of the church. The offering will now be given and received in grateful appreciation of our shared values. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. Please rise in body or in spirit for our closing hymn, number 123, Spirit of Life.
I want to say thank you to Grace Odell for playing the piano for us this morning. This week, remember that your words are spells, so I invite you to see what sort of magic you can create. Go in peace.